economic parity. She's a dear friend of mine. She's an attorney at law, retired, formerly in private practice, worked as in-house counsel, assistant attorney general, Ohio University, and Hopkins College. She's an Athens resident and has lots of grassroots activities. Decades ago, we were working on NARAL over at UCLA. We're still here. So come on up, Vicki.
I was telling Anya, my favorite sign at the Women's March in Washington was the sign of the elderly woman. It said, "Oh, I still have to do this shit." And it's so true. Anya and I worked on many boards together. We started many small grassroots agencies that have since helped hundreds of thousands of women in the region. So we're real proud of that, but we're back here again. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about economic disparity. Just let you know where we are. There's supposed to be something going around a list of companies that women and men and purchasers, consumers, can start to boycott. We have power in our wallets. We have power in our purses. We have power in how we spend our money. And if we talk about a marathon and not a sprint, that really is the long-term economic value that we can give by not purchasing, by not giving to those that would seek to keep women in their place, which is not on an equal par with everyone else. We can do something with that. And here are some of the stats. We, of course, are half of the population. But of that half of the population, we have 88% have major influence in the buying power in our households. You think about it. Women purchase, if the recent stats are, we purchase 47% of small trucks and SUVs. We purchase the majority, if not all, of the beauty products and cosmetics that are produced. We are extremely environmentally conscious, and we demand a certain brand loyalty. Once we find a brand, we tend to stick with it. And that may have to change if we find out that brand is not so friendly.
So are they against Trump?
So we have an advantage. However, during our working lifetime, we will earn less than a man throughout our working life. Women will average $48,000 a year, and men will average about $62,000 a year if you look at a year. It's a couple of $100 less per week, but it mounts up. Again, it's that marathon. We will have less in retirement. We're not real savvy when it comes to investment, and that's an area that we could start to get more parity on. Men seem to have the advantage of working with the stock market and investing their money early and often. And as women, we need to educate ourselves better on the stock market and better on finances. As women, most of us between the ages of 49 and 73 will suffer a major economic crisis in our life, either because of death, divorce, or a serious illness, cancer, or something that will take us out of working life. As mothers, we will spend our time with children. We will purchase the fortune and on behalf of children. So there's a lot of income power that happens there. Anytime you look at the numbers, it's usually about 80 to 90% of everything that's purchased in this country. A woman has some kind of major influence on whether that product is purchased, manufactured, whether it's going to succeed or fail. And I think most of this crowd is probably going to remember, but one of the things I remember working on a long time ago was when I think Nestle's back around again in some kind of trouble. They still are. But I remember Nestle was trying to get women from third world countries to stop breastfeeding and to use formula. It was unbelievable that they were actually pushing their product for sale on women who could not afford it and would not be able to sustain buying formula for children who would then become hungry. And I remember working on that, and here I'm reading about Nestle again, who wants to corner the market on water of all things. So they're pushing around the globe to have water bottled and so that you have to purchase your water essentially to have water. No more water out of the streams. Or I am very proud to know a few male engineers that I work with at Ohio University who actively are working in countries that they're building water systems. I mean, that's their life mission. I'm really proud of them because they don't believe that it should come out of the bottom, but they're going to third world countries. They shouldn't count us out, and we have access to it. And if we don't have it, we have friends, spouses, male, female partners who have it, and we can influence that kind of power. So when you get that list, take a look at it. I mean, constantly in our household around the dinner table is, okay, why are we eating this pasta tonight? Well, it's because that pasta is on the list. So, I'm sorry, we're switching pasta. And it may seem like a silly little thing, I get laughed at a lot by my family members, but in the long run, again, that marathon, it will take some of these companies down. We did it with Nestle before.
There's a website, Grab Your Wallet. It's an amazing website. It has companies that people are boycotting because of contributions to politicians. Someone on Pennsylvania. It does make a difference. Some of the merchants on there have removed Trump merchandise from stores. But there's other places you can find. Spend with your wallet. Look what's across the street from us, Chase Bank. What does Chase Bank help fund or invest in? The DAPL. So use your money wisely. I left Century National Bank because their front page is crappy. A really burning issue today, Nancy Shell's going to talk about, because there's hearings in Washington today on the health care situation. Nancy's worked in healthcare for 30 years. It couldn't have been that long. She's the founding director of Ohio University Heritage College of Medicine AmeriCorps program, the ComCorps, which provides health screenings, education, and access to children and families in the county. Take it away. Burning issue.
I was working on this little presentation off and on for the last couple of days, but I got to tell you, I can't keep up. There's just so much happening. So probably some of the things I'm saying to you are old news today. I wanted to take this in so many different directions, so I want to talk a little bit about what we stand to lose, what they think we're going to gain, and what impact it has for us locally. The current administration has vowed to end Obamacare. They wanted to do it since the very beginning. They want to make it better for us. Well, we don't know if it's a soundbite, but we have a feeling it might be. So I wanted to talk a little bit about specifically what we've gained first. As of now, 9 out of 10 working adults have health insurance and 19 out of 20 children are insured. Pre-existing conditions are covered. Kids can be covered till they're 26. My own kids took advantage of that. No American is denied coverage for maternity services right now. Employers are holding steady with their health-sponsored care. 3 out of 4 adults living in poverty currently have insurance, which was certainly not the case before Obamacare. With the Medicaid expansion, that's been a huge blessing for everyone in that category. 98 out of 100 women in a health plan have guaranteed coverage for childbirth. You would think in a country like this we would guarantee it for everyone, wouldn't we? And as a result of more people covered, hospitals have received more payment and are flourishing in a way that they haven't for a very long time. Also, for those of us that are approaching the Medicare age, by 2020, if Obama's healthcare program would stay intact, that crazy donut hole would get closed. You know, these are things we really need to work hard to keep. And I don't know how much we're going to be able to keep, but I know most all of you out there are making your phone calls, sending your notes, talking to your friends, so keep it up. I was unaware of until my daughter had a baby, is that because of Obamacare, she could have paid for a breast pump and have an opportunity to nurse her baby without any repercussions. Also, we all know that autism is on the rise, and there are many children today who are seeking services in families, and now autism is a covered service. We are well aware the opiate addiction issue is rampant in our area and in many other places in the country. Comprehensive services are available for people now that were not available prior. The number of primary care physicians has increased in the last few years. Statistic I read was 18%. But immigration is really not what I'm here to talk about, but I need to talk about it for just a minute. The executive order for the immigration ban is restricting visas for citizens from Iran, Libya, Somalia, the Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. And of course, we all know this has moral, legal, and ethical implications. But as of now, there are 7,000 physicians in our country that are from these countries that serve over 14 million office visits for Americans. Many of those physicians are actually working in the Rust Belt and in Appalachia. My daughter worked at an ICU up by Toledo, and she told me that probably 3/4 of her physicians were international physicians. So out of those physicians in Ohio in recent times, there have been 880,000 patient visits. 3 of the 5 cities in the biggest impacted cities in the country by a potential immigration ban and decrease in international physicians are Toledo, Cleveland, and Dayton. Many of these doctors are primary care. They are also specialists. We need these docs. We don't want to send them back. And even though many of them may have permanent status, many of them do not. And if they go home to visit families, they're going to be concerned about not being able to return. A dear friend of mine was telling me that up to 25% of all residency slots in this country are currently filled by international physicians. So we will not be putting new physicians into the pipeline at the rate that we have been previous. So I don't know how many of you were aware of this, but I thought that was shocking. The executive order restricting these people coming into our country has so many ramifications. These are things that we all need to be thinking about. 55% of people on Medicare are women. 60% of people on Medicaid are women. Medicaid expansion stands to go away in 2020, and we cannot allow that to happen. I do want to thank our governor for regarding Medicaid expansion, and I know we are all out there complaining about the things we don't like, but we also need to reward and mention the things that we do. What does this mean for our district? If things don't stay as they are now, over 400,000 individuals could lose preventive health services. Over 450,000 individuals with employer-sponsored health care could risk losing. Over 12,000 individuals who have purchased coverage could lose it. Over 10,000 individuals who receive financial aid to purchase it could lose it. We all know that with the new plan, they're talking, how many poor people or underserved people do you know can buy their insurance and then receive a tax credit? I have many more things I'd love to say, but I urge you all to keep informed. Don't make yourself crazy over it. Support one another and celebrate our victories, and we are not going to be quiet.
On women's reproductive health for Senator Rob Portman is not sure he supports this proposed change to eliminate Obamacare and the ACA. Cedar Strauss, community advocate, especially for women and children. She's been a member of the board of Planned Parenthood of Southeast Ohio, continues to support the agency locally and nationally.
And I stand with Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood has been the nation's leading reproductive health care provider and advocate. This year, obviously, Obviously, we're celebrating our centennial year, 100 years. At Planned Parenthood of Greater Ohio, nearly 62,000 people visit one of our 20 health centers each year. And nationwide, an estimated 1 in 5 women in her life has relied on Planned Parenthood for reproductive health care. And raise your hand if you're one of them. Amazing. And this is why the majority of Americans support Planned Parenthood. 100 years ago, Margaret Sanger started the first clinic in Brooklyn, New York, and for the past 100 years, Planned Parenthood movement has changed the way people think and talk about sex, sexuality, and the right to control their own body. Today, Planned Parenthood is in the fight of a lifetime to preserve access to care and to reliable information, especially for people of low income, people of color, and as we know, people in rural communities in America. It's inconceivable, insidious, and insulting that after 100 years we are still fighting to control our bodies, improve our health care, and not to forget that men and fathers also are clients and recipients of this valuable health care that Planned Parenthood provides. Monday, talk about timing. The House GOP officially released their bill around the repeal of the Affordable Care Act, ACA, Obamacare, and as expected, in the only non-ACA provision, the bill proposed to block specifically with Medicaid coverage from accessing preventive health care at Planned Parenthood health centers, including birth control, cancer screening, STD testing, and treatment. Additionally, the Trump White House has been pressing for Planned Parenthood to stop providing abortion in return for additional funding. This is actually the same line of attack that extreme organizations have pushed for decades and is designed to get one step closer to ending, say, legal abortion in this country by stopping Planned Parenthood's service delivery and undermining their role as a strong advocate for women's full reproductive health care.
Hell no! Hell no!
Since no federal funding goes toward abortion in the first place, this is particularly absurd, an attack that reinforces that this is really all about ending access to safe, legal abortion. There is no line in the federal budget for Planned Parenthood. The funds in question are Medicaid reimbursements. These funds are payments for services provided. The impact of this bill on Ohio would be devastating. Planned Parenthood has always stood strong against these attacks on its patients and their access to full reproductive health care. Planned Parenthood's singular commitment to the women and men who come to them for health care every day in communities like Athens. I have my first one up there in that building. That's the first Planned Parenthood I went to. They will always stand for women's ability to make decisions about their health and lives without interference from politicians in Washington, D.C. or Columbus, Ohio. Throughout the rest of the year, there will be several events across Ohio to celebrate Planned Parenthood's centennial year, including an event here in Athens on June 9th. Put it in your memory and then into your calendar, at Walter Hall Rotunda. Put it on your calendars. Come, give, get, have a ball, and support this invaluable, vital resource. My name is Sita Strauss. I stand with Planned Parenthood, and I ask you to stand with Planned Parenthood with
Through my work, I'm privy to a lot of private and sometimes very public conversations and where these ideas come up. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will experience sexual assault in their lifetime. And if we listen closely, victim blaming is a common thread of many of the stories we hear about violence against women, trans, and LGBT folks. I could share with you today about how survivors' age, race, socioeconomic status influence how much a victim is blamed or shamed. However, that's not what I'm going to talk about today. A day without a woman to me is about questioning the normal, the expected. Instead of talking about the victims, I want to talk about the shamers and blamers. Why someone might victim blame and slut shame victims of violence. If the election has taught me anything, it's that I need to work harder to understand people like this and have compassion for them, but largely I want to change their lives. For several years I've been doing work with the Slut Walk organization, and if you're not familiar, in 2011 a police officer in Toronto, Canada, giving a self-defense demonstration, told the participants that if girls want to avoid being victims, they shouldn't dress like sluts. That infuriated a lot of the folks who were there, and what was originally a 1,000-participant march turned into a demonstration in 27 countries that's lasted many years now. The movement is interesting in its own right, but I share this story because the officer's comments really distill the essence of victim blaming and slut shaming. The argument, if girls want to avoid being victims, they shouldn't dress like sluts, lead many to ask what's wrong with dressing like a slut, and how can attire invite victimization. So slut shaming is the practice of making a person feel guilty for certain sexual behaviors. This can include dressing provocatively, requesting access to birth control, having premarital sex, and in this case, being sexually assaulted. And victim blaming occurs when the victim of a crime or any wrongful act is held entirely or disproportionately responsible for their victimization. And these components are prevalent in our society and have been evidenced as major components of our news media, court proceedings, and even personal interactions. So there's a vast amount of scholarly research, but even in your own experience, you're probably quite familiar with these concepts. Many people have offered explanations for the occurrence of victim blaming and slut shaming in our society. One of the most important, I think, is the cultural factors that create the conditions in which the victim blaming and slut shaming is possible. And this is the cultural value of individualism. So it's this moral stance that values self-reliance, independence, and exercising individual agency. And I'm very familiar with it, these tropes of pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or this idea of the American dream. And on a cultural level, these values are important. They serve an important function. They inspire productivity, self-determination, innovation, but there's also a downside. In cases of sexual violence, drastic individualism, and often does, places undue emphasis on the choices of the victim, such as what they're dressing, what they were wearing, if they were consuming alcohol, and that's what leads to victim blaming and slut shaming. I want to transfer the emphasis here, then, to still talk about the shamers and blamers. I want to take an interesting turn to talk about vulnerability. Anyone here addicted to TED Talks like I am? If you wanted a new TED Talk binge, I would suggest Brene Brown. She does a fabulous talk, and it's about vulnerability. And her talk quickly became one of my favorites. Considering I study sexual violence and I work in this field, you can guess I instantly found sexual violence relationships with vulnerability and fear. And I was thinking about the victims. But then I started thinking about the people who engage in this activity and thinking maybe vulnerability might be a way to think about why people might victim blame or slut shame. So this is best illustrated with an example. If someone who hasn't been victimized, right, what might their motivations be for blaming and shaming the victim? Because if I accept sexual violence can happen to anyone, then it can happen to me. And quite frankly, that's fearful. And blaming the victim might be an easy way for me to avoid that fear. Can be the root of slut shaming too, because ostracizing that individual, usually a woman, based on her sexuality, then I have a vested interest in separating myself from that deviant woman who made those poor choices, right? In both these examples, non-victim is managing their own fears because believing that we cannot avoid victimization through our personal choices is a very vulnerable place to be. Brene Brown, in a wonderful speech, she explains that there's steps that you can take to empathize with people. You can take perspective taking, staying out of judgment, recognizing emotion in other people, and then communicating these components to others. So perhaps sometimes when someone is victim blaming and slut shaming, it's because they themselves feel vulnerable, and maybe it's their attempt at avoiding fear and vulnerability. And maybe, just maybe, this is where I can find common ground with these people who feel very differently about this issue than I do. Now, don't mistake my motives at all. Victim blaming and slut shaming are destructive behaviors. However, if we can better understand why non-victims might engage in these behaviors, maybe we can change their minds and see a day without violence against women.
The next speaker is Sue Rigging, and she's talking about racial justice and a new organization in the community.
I was able to go to the Women's March in D.C., and as I texted my friends and family who were not able to go, it was freaking awesome. The reason is because there were people of all ages, shapes, sizes, colors, faiths, gender persuasions. It was just amazing, the degree of love and acceptance that was shared among those close to a million people. In preparation for the march, there was some communications on Facebook that women of color who helped arrange this march had asked white women to check their privilege prior to going to the march, and some white women took issue with that. I feel very privileged to have been able to go. I could afford the trip. I didn't have hassles with childcare. I didn't have a job I had to show up at. I wasn't in jail. There were many reasons that I was able to go when some of my sisters were not. White people are not accustomed to thinking of our privilege. We all have our challenges. Some of us have huge economic challenges, and for those people to try and think about privilege can be jarring when they know that they also are near the bottom of the heap. We know that this movement, this effort is about intersectionality. We know that we, just as, decades ago when the women's movement started, we knew that men were also oppressed by the patriarchal, misogynist system that we had. Not only men who maybe were gay, not only men who maybe were transgender, but men who, as boys, were taught not to express their emotions. The same is true with the oppression that we as white Americans, usually unwittingly, continue to foist on people of color. And unless we become brave and more practiced and more comfortable in looking at how that privilege of white people plays out, we're not really going to be able to change it. Yeah, I looked up some numbers. I've worked in prison. I've firsthand seen the effect of racism in the incredible new Jim Crow, as Michelle Alexander puts it, mass incarceration of people of color. The attention usually is young black men who we see nauseating, repeated videos online of their deaths at the hands of the state. Young black women are also victimized way out of proportion of white women, both at the hands of the police and in general in terms of incarceration. The rates of incarceration for women have been going up faster than the rates for men. Young Native American teenage girls are placed into juvenile detention at 5 times the rate of young white girls. Native American women are raped at twice the rate of other groups, and that is usually through the hands of white. We need to be willing to look at these facts. I wrote down some quotes from James Baldwin, "I'm Not Your Negro." That film is a must-see. things he says is that the story of the Negro in America, and to that I would add the Native American, is the story of America, and it is not a pretty story. That we need each other to form a new identity. This organization that Andrea mentioned is called SURGE, nice name, it's Surge in Energy, that's coming out since the election. SURGE, S-U-R-J, stands for Showing Up for Racial Justice. It's a group for white people, although all people are welcome. And it's a group for white people because we have to get our shit together. We have to look at each other honestly. We have to look inside honestly. We've got to talk to each other about what kind of privileges we experience at the expense of other people in our nation and in the world. The reason economic equality is going to take over 100 years is not because it's going to take white women that long to earn as much as men. Economic equality is going to take over 100 years is not because it's going to take white women that long to earn as much as men. It's because currently approximately a white woman gets about 76, 78 cents compared to men who's black women at 75. We can't let that injustice stand. The next general meeting is going to be a week from Monday, March 20th at 7 o'clock in the evening in the basement at UCM, and I hope to see all you there.
We're going to do another song. I want to introduce Heather Cantino. She's a longtime activist, environmental, that's why we started hanging out, but social issues, environmental.
Before I start, I want to thank Andrea. She thanked all of us, but she's done an incredible job. We're going to do another song, but I want to introduce it by reading something that I got today from Grassroots Global Justice Alliance. No war, no warming, build an economy for people on the planet. No one is free until we are all free. Today on International Women's Day, Grassroots Global Justice Alliance celebrates women and the long-fought legacy of women's leadership in social movements past and present. They give quotes from various people. One woman is Marcia Olivo from Miami Workers Center. We pledge to stand not just against injustices that directly affect ourselves and our communities, but all issues that affect women, femmes, and their families. Today we want to send a strong message to our elected officials, from our local county and city commissioners to our governor, to our congressional members and mayors. The new administration will not be an excuse to promote politics of hate, bigotry, and discrimination against us and our families. Women and femmes are unbreakable, and we will continue standing up for not just the rights of undocumented and immigrant communities or the trans community or Muslim communities. It also means standing up for anyone fighting for justice, reproductive rights, or environmental rights. No one is free until we are all free. There is no such thing as an illegal immigrant. No one is illegal, and we need to remember that, and we need to be calling, as I think most of us are, calling our congressional representatives and our senators. It is not just Trump who is doing this to this country. We can't let all of our elected officials get away with these horrible things. We're going to sing another song by Ellie Gray, No Ban, no Wall, No Ban. And I also just wanted to mention a couple things about Ellie. She has a website with some of these songs, and I've been sharing a video of 6,000 people singing that other song that we sang at the Utah State Capitol, and it's an amazing video to watch. And thanks to Deborah for leading us.
Snuggle up close with someone who knows the song, and you'll learn it really quickly. We say no wall, no ban on this stolen land. We say no ban, no wall. Together rise or fall. We say no wall, no ban. Reach out every hand. We say no ban, no wall. We will welcome all. We will stand. will speak out loud and clear. All creation is welcome here. We say no wall, no ban on this stolen land. We say no ban, no wall. Together rise and fall. We say no wall, no ban. Reach out every hand. We say no ban, no wall. We will welcome all. We say no ban, no wall. We will welcome all.
We have passionate speakers. We said short, but they've been long and powerful. I'd like to introduce Mindy Cisneros. And she is a second grade teacher at East Elementary. And I like her statement. As a woman and educator, she is deeply concerned with the direction of education and the future of our nation under the reign of the current regime. Very timely.
I'm so excited to look out and see former students, current students, parents. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Hello, fellow activists. It is an honor and recognized privilege to be here with you and speak on behalf of public education. With the help of my teacher friend, Jan McGarry, I bring you our combined thoughts today. Anyone who knows me knows that I am passionate about that which I do for a living, as does every public school teacher I know. Educators sleep, eat, live, and breathe their students. When the 3:30 bell rings, our job does not stop there. When the weekend rolls around, our job does not stop there. When summer break starts, our job does not end there. Yet Betsy DeVos would have us think differently. I'm not here to berate Secretary of Education DeVos. After all, she is a woman. I am here, however, to promote public education. As you may know, House Bill 610, also known as the Education Act of 2017, was introduced on January 23rd. It stands to repeal the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965 and limits the authority of the Department of Education such that the Department of Education would be authorized only to award block grants to qualified states. The bill establishes an education voucher program through which each state would distribute block grant funds among local educational agencies, or LEAs, based on the number of eligible children within each LEA's geographical area. From these amounts, each LEA would, 1, distribute a portion of funds to parents who elect to enroll their child in private school or to homeschool their child, and 2, do so in a manner that ensures that such payments will be used for appropriate educational expenses. Furthermore, also included in House Bill 610 is the No Hungry Kids Act, which sounds sublime on the surface, kind of like the No Child Left Behind Act, and we all know where that landed us. The bill repeals a rule that established certain nutrition standards for the National School Lunch and Breakfast Programs. The rule currently requires schools to increase the availability of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and low-fat or fat-free milk, reduce the levels of sodium, saturated fat, and trans fat, and you kind of get the idea. We know that good nutrition positively impacts children in learning. If this bill passes, we can say farewell to these terms and the headway we have made to feed not only students' bodies, but their brains. Aside from the religious goals of House Bill 610, Ms. DeVos et al. Push for privatizing education to make tons of money. In North Carolina, for example, a single individual has done just that by opening and running multiple charter schools. His other companies make money supplying everything used at the schools, from pencils kidding. He charges his schools astronomical prices. The schools receive public funding and he answers to no one. Oh, and by the way, any students with special needs are not welcome at these schools. Lack of accountability and no public scrutiny mean cut-rate education for students, low performance, low teacher pay, and huge profits for private investors. As Ms. DeVos and other proponents of the bill will tell you, choice is paramount. House Bill 610 will defund, deregulate, and privatize education in the name of choice. The bill is based on alternative facts. New research in 3 separate large-scale studies from 3 separate states confirms that vouchers harm our students. According to the research, voucher students have shown significant losses in achievement. Ms. DeVos is infamous for not understanding or supporting the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, thinking it should be up to the states to determine if students with disabilities will be treated fairly. She has no plans to hold charter, private, schools to the same accountability standards as public schools. For these reasons and more, we must continue to make our voices heard. Education should not be for profit. This regime is a catalyst to wake up, to keep us politically active, and to peacefully, but fiercely, stand our ground. It is time to vote first. Being here today is one step in the right direction. Contact your political leaders, continue to rally, stand up and speak out against atrocities against our nation's children. Volunteer in public schools. I have an open door policy. Come on in. Do something each day to make a difference in tomorrow. Our children deserve more. Our nation deserves quality, educated citizens. Our future depends on it. In the words of First Lady Michelle Obama, public education is our greatest pathway to opportunity in America. Our founders of this great nation believed education was critical for democracy, that it should be available to all, that it should be free from religion and ideology, that it should be equal for all citizens, that it should be public, and that the investment was worth the cost.
That's right.
When women and their allies band together, let no man put us under. And remember, it takes a village to educate a child. Thank you.
We have 2 more speakers. They're near and dear to my heart, the environmental issues. Lorraine McCosker, who has worked in women's health as an educator and most recently is working in environmental education and protection. I like her quote. She believes women and the environment are intricately linked.
So I'm talking about 3 international female activists. And we know that we have many challenges ahead with the cabinet. We have climate change that is running rampant without regulation. And we also see fossil fuel extraction just gearing up rather than slowing down. I mean, so please keep your eyes out for what's happening in Ohio. We're going to need you on the front lines, not just with injection wells and fracking in the wing, but big pipelines and just amazing projects are coming forward. So I do believe that women and nature are intricately linked. The health and well-being of our planet is reflected in the health and well-being of all species and all people. Our role in the 21st century is heightened as protectors and advocates. The emperor is naked, and we must lead the way of the future. I'd like to talk about 3 women who advocated for the health of the planet and for women, communities, human health, and the future. While Mary Matai was the founder of the Green Belt movement and awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. Matai was born in rural area of Kenya, Africa, and became the first woman in East and Central Africa to earn a doctorate. She introduced the idea of broad-based grassroots organizations, the Green Belt movement, whose main focus is poverty reduction and environmental conservation through tree planting. The movement has planted 51 million trees, and most recently 5 million in 2016. Matai was internationally acknowledged for her struggle for democracy, human rights, and environmental conservation. A quote from Wangari Maathai, "We owe it to ourselves and to the next generation to conserve the environment so that we bequeath our children a sustainable world that benefits." Another activist is Vandana Shiva, Indian scholar, environmental activist, and anti-globalization author. She has argued for the wisdom of traditional practices, local and traditional foods, and anti-globalization. The Figures issue will be here at Ohio University on March 27th at 7 p.m. in the theater. So please watch that. Her quote, "Seed is not just the source of life, it is the very foundation of our community." Third activist that is very dear to my heart is Berta Caceres. She is of Honduras. She co-founded the National Council of Popular and Indigenous Organizations of Honduras to address the growing threats posed to indigenous populations, the Lenca, by illegal logging, mining, and dams, working to attempt to protect their territorial rights. She was awarded the Goldman Environmental Peace Prize in 2015 for her work opposing a dam and acting as organizer for the Lenca people, feeling that this would impact the sacred river, Hocargay River, at adjacent indigenous communities. She was murdered a year ago on March 3rd, 2016 for her opposition work to this dam project. The government has been implicated. I will read a portion of her acceptance speech for the Goldman Prize. "In our worldviews, we are beings who come from the earth, from the water, and from the corn. The Lenca people are ancestral guardians of the rivers, in turn protected by the spirits of young girls who teach us that giving our lives in various ways for the protection of rivers is giving our lives for the well-being of humanity and the planet. Let us wake up. Let us wake up, humankind. We are out of time. We must shake our conscience free of the rapacious capitalism, racism, and patriarchy that will only ensure our own self-destruction." Finally, to quote American author Harry Tempest Williams, "The eyes of the future are looking back at us, and they are praying for us to see beyond our time."
Our final speaker this evening is Sarah Koya. She's going to update us on the pipeline and Standing Rock, that horrible situation. But she's not horrible. She's a local resident, local business owner, Bill of Rights charter member, and local water protector. Sarah Koya.
There's a lot of women out here. We're all sisters, we're all mothers, we're all from the same, breed of people. I want you to know that if you're out there, you're just getting started, you can do anything in this world. You can be a business owner, you can be the boss, but you have to take your lead. The Native Nations are marching this weekend on Washington. Some of them are set up in camp there today. They're trying to get as many people from different tribes to come out as they can. The Lakota, the Sioux made the decision to wait out the solution to the Dakota Access Pipeline in court, and unfortunately that's not going very well. Yesterday, a judge ruled against them on religious grounds, and the pipeline is scheduled to be complete probably within the next week. So that's the word from out west. I think the theme is unity. People came together to try to do what they can in the face of great evil. The pipeline projects are going on all around our country. There's one not that far from us. We have the Nexus pipeline. We're trying to put through Northern Ohio right now. Our friends in Medina need our help. There's a website you can go to called nopipelies.org. This is the Medina group that we're trying to get together, taking a stand against the pipelines there. Now, we have had good news that their city council is behind them. They voted to not allow the eminent domain people to come in and just survey people's land without their permission. But this is not a native issue, this is a human issue, and we're all part of the same tribe on that. Some of the people that were at Standing Rock have moved to other locations. There's a pretty good group in Lancaster, Pennsylvania right now. They're calling themselves The Stand. Their website is wearelancastercounty.org. They're inviting people there that are willing and able to travel to Lancaster. They have an active camp set up on private property where they cannot be removed by the federal government. And what they're doing is trying to keep the same thing that's happening in Medina, the eminent domain, take money from coming in and saying, well, we will just take this property in the name of the good of the people. Well, we are the people. We may not have the money, but we have the voices, and we need to get behind these, our own Standing Rock here, and try to do what we can, even if it's a weekend trip or a donation, to try to keep these from being built. And I think there's a much better chance with the Nexus pipeline and with the pipeline in Pennsylvania, because it's not already almost complete with a bunch of investors. It's something that they're talking about starting, and it's something that we need to be there to let them know, we're not going to have that here. I really don't have a lot to say, which is good because we don't have a lot of time, but I would encourage everyone to go to nopipelies.org and to not lose faith, because we together, united, can really affect change.
We've heard all our speakers, and we could go on. There's so many important issues. That's why it took so long tonight, because so much shit is happening now. What I come away with today is, the empowerment of everyone standing here. This is awesome. It is spring break in Athens, and look at how many people are here. We're going to move over to UCM in the kitchen area for more discussion, if you would like. But before we do that, we have a song and some chants. They would like to do one more verse of a song, and Mara has some good old chants here for us. It'll get your blood moving. Thank you very much. Remember, you can speak with your voices and your wallet. We can do this. We have Cease, who will close our evening with a peaceful meditation, because these are some difficult topics here.
Good job, Andrea!
Verse, I'm going to walk it with you twice through.
Be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you. One more time.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
And human rights are women's rights.
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 Very second, the same way you see in Christians and Jews. And that for some Muslims it's just very cultural to be Muslim. And they identify very strongly as Muslim, but not religiously as much, let's say. So I think we really have a landscape of the American Muslim community that really tracks very closely to what you see in Jews and Christians in this country, that kind of diversity. Some pray 5 times a day, some never pray, but still consider themselves Muslim. So I think that's one of the biggest things I'd like to get out to my fellow Americans, is we are as diverse as every other faith community in this country.
Professor Abdul-Razim, generally speaking, what do all Muslims strive for as part of their faith? What are the high Muslim ideals that Muslims try to live by?
That's right. Well, a fundamental moral imperative within the Islamic tradition is to always promote what is good and prevent what is wrong. So, in a nutshell, that defines Islamic